It was definitely a story to remember, I think, going to the hospital. I was in such this fixated mindset that I can't believe this is happening right now. And I've got so much on my plate in terms of business. Hours after Jeslyn arrived, I actually said to you, can you please bring my laptop in? Because I need to answer emails. It was purely just adrenaline and like this mindset of I can't let anyone down. I need to get back into it straight away.
That was probably a big reality hit for both of us where we're like, holy shit, we just given life here and we're still taking care of our other baby, which is a business.
Jeslyn was there healthy. You know, I couldn't feel pain because I had so much drugs in me, and it just felt like I needed to get on my laptop and continue because we had to. It was the weeks that even followed after that. Most people would say every time the baby sleeps, you should sleep because you need to recover. I chose to use that hour to work. And I think it was just this crazy perseverance and push through and resilience of going, I need to just get things done. Hey everyone, it's Julia.
And Victor, and we're multi-award winning entrepreneurs. We own a portfolio of businesses and we also have 2 kids under 3.
As husband and wife, we have decided to start this podcast as a way of giving back and sharing our journey with some raw conversations, knowledge and learnings that we have been having together over the past 13 years of building our businesses and our life together. Hey everyone, it's Julia and Victor. We are back again with another episode, and today we thought we would unpack what's life like with 2 little kids under 3 while juggling and building multiple businesses. So we have 2 beautiful, gorgeous little babies, Jeslyn, who is now 2.5, and Jordan, who's 9 months. So it is absolutely hectic. And both, as Vic and I are in business full-time together, it is a wild ride, is all I can say.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit before the kids came along.
Yes.
So how was life before kids?
How was life before kids? Amazing. Life with kids is also amazing, but a different kind of amazing, I think. Funnily enough, I don't think many people know this, but both you and I weren't actually planning to have a family. We very much
not to have a family.
Yeah, we were planning not to have a family, and we were very much happy with just life as the 2 of us, right?
Yeah. I think we were so focused on business and trying to create the lifestyle that we want, and kids never came into the picture because we were just there were so many responsibilities already, and then we never imagined having kids involved in our life because we had so much on. So
the business was the baby.
Business was the baby, and everyone in the business was also our children.
Part of our family,
yes. Yeah, so it was interesting times. And when we heard that Jeslyn was coming along, it was really exciting actually.
I think it was a shock.
It was a shock.
Begin with.
Felt really excited about that journey and the family was static. We couldn't wait to welcome new life into our lives, which was really exciting. But tell us a little bit about the lead up and the pregnancy during that time.
Yeah, I think it was definitely exciting and a shock. And I think, you know, especially as you know, Vic, I'm a planner. I like to plan everything. I'm not one for surprises. And so I think because we were planning our life of no children and just living life as we were, and then when we found out we were having a baby, it was a bit of an adjustment. But it became quickly a very exciting adjustment because I think our family, you know, my sister, parents, everyone was just sharing their sentiment and sharing their love for the fact that we were growing our family. And that really helped solidify the fact that this is an exciting thing and it's a blessing for us as well to have the opportunity to grow our little family. But I think it was, you know, I, as you know as well, really enjoyed the pregnancy process. Like I just loved being able to grow a little human and just realizing how amazing the human body is, petrified. And, you know, we took birthing classes together and going, what the fuck is about to happen? the birthing and all of this stuff. But it felt like it was a brand new journey that we got to do together. And I think that was really fun. On the same token, I think personally, whilst it was so exciting, it was also so scary because we were like, okay, what happens to the business then? And at the time, for a bit of context for everyone, we only had one company, which was JT Production Management, our events management agency. We just got out of COVID and we scaled it 3 times the size. So we were on this high, you know, our company was thriving. We had a massive team. We were in a brand new office. We've got new projects coming in left, right and centre. You know, we were brewing up ideas. We were delivering some major projects as well for the first time for our business. And it felt like, you know, the baby news was exciting, but also so scary because I just remember us going, when do we actually tell the team and what kind of plans do we need to put in place to make sure that we're looking after everyone? And I think that part for us felt a bit lost and a bit confusing.
And I remember, like, you know, when we found out that you were pregnant, it was already a few months down the track as well. It wasn't like very early detection. We were just...
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, my God. Yes, we were delivering the major event, which was the Premier's Gala Dinner. And that was a huge project. And honestly, I was so stressed about it. I didn't even realise we were pregnant for already, you know, 2 months.
At the time.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a team member that said, oh, maybe you're pregnant as a joke. And then we're like, holy crap, maybe we need to actually get this tested.
Yes, and little did we know it was real.
And I didn't even realise this, and you went out and did it on your own.
Yeah. I did the test and then realised.
It surprised me when I was back from an event.
That we were like, hey, this is all happening. But I think, it was a lot of emotions. It was a lot of highs, a lot of excitement and a lot of fear at the same time. I think, you know, as a young couple with so much happening in our lives, we were quite nervous about what expectation was towards the business. You know, it wasn't so much of expectation as us becoming parents. We were like, we'll navigate through that. I think we've got a really strong partnership around that. And our family was so supportive, but it was around like, how are we going to navigate this with the business? Yeah.
And I think we even delayed telling the team for a few months because
we had to work it out.
Frantically trying to figure it out ourselves. And I guess time is against us at the same time. So tell us about that journey, you know, that couple of months that we had to take before telling the team.
I think it was we lent on our mentors at the time, different sets of mentors to what we have now. At the time, our mentor really helped guided us and just calmed our nerves. And I just remembered them saying to us that you should see this journey of having a baby not as a pause in your career, but as an accelerator. And that was such a game changer. I remember, I think you and I looked at each other and were like, fuck, yes. Like why? And in fact, you know, especially as a female as well, I think so many times do you go up against the idea of like, do you start a family? Do you have a baby? Because that will essentially put a pause or pin in where you are in your career journey, not necessarily as a business owner, but I think even more so as a business owner. But I think for him to share with us, his name is Luke, and helped guided us through that and said, you guys should see this as an accelerator. It was such a game changer. And then we really then helped shifted our mindset to focus on, okay, what kind of foundations do we need to lay down to ensure that we give the team the right structure and steps in place so that I could take a step back and have a baby. Yeah.
So I remember that conversation, and the accelerator part was, I know your goals for the next 2 to 3 years. Now you got to do it in 6 months. And we were like, really?
Yeah.
And we were like, can we actually do that? But I guess when people don't point it out in that sense where time and pushing time, you know, and consolidating what does it look like for your 2-year goals into a 6 months period that you can actually achieve it when you put enough energy into it. Collectively, that was a game changer because we had to move really quickly into getting the business into a certain place before baby arrival.
Yeah.
And And then fast forwarding the arrival process. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what happened there?
I think it's funny because we now have 2 babies. And I think even us just reflecting back on the journey of baby number 1 and what we considered then as laying their foundations and getting ourselves organised is so different to baby number 2. And we can share a bit more as to why. But baby Jeslyn arrived a month early. And again, you know, as I said, I hate surprises. So the fact that she came a month early was so wild to me and to us, right? She arrived on the 13th of October, and October is by far the busiest season of events at JT. And by busy, I mean on average, we would be producing 2 to 3 events, sometimes in a day. We've got teams coming in and out of, you know, the office, interstate, regional, all sorts of places. And in particular with us, we also are pro bono partner to a charity that I hold very dear to my heart called Western Chances. And every year I would MC their Good Business Forum, which is a big corporate business fundraising event. And I remember distinctively it was the Good Business Forum event on the Friday. And of course, Jeslyn arrived the morning of. And it's so funny because now I reflect back on it, you know, I was having what I know now is contractions, but at the time it was just like, oh, you know, pregnancy pain. And I remember I was like, oh, I'm in a lot of pain. Like, I won't go in the office today, but like, can you go in and, you know, do what you need to do? And I remember Nancy, my sister, was like, oh, Jules, you know, these pains getting a bit regular. Like, you should pack your bags. You know, this doesn't sound like just normal pregnancy pain. And I'm like, I'm only 35 weeks at the time. That's not normal. And totally ignored it. And it's crazy to think the power of the mindset, right? Because I think my mind was so fixated on A, delivering business and delivering good events, B, getting ready to MC this gig, and C, there's no way I'm having this baby early because that apparently just doesn't happen in my head at the time. And little did we know, you know, that was that night when the pain increased, and I remember I was still rehearsing the MC script.
What?
And you were saying to me, are you crazy? Because you were starting to time the process. And you were the one who said to me that it was like, hey, you should really consider.
Yeah, I started packing the bags.
Yeah.
And I was like, this timing of your pain doesn't seem like it's normal. And it might be contractions coming from the birthing classes that we took. So I'm like, maybe we should prepare. And I remember ripping out what was it called? The device, the TENS machine, to say, hey, this would help you ease your pain. And you were still in denial saying, no, baby's not coming now. It's still a month early, and I still got 2 events to deliver before this baby arrives. And
it's not part of my schedule.
Yeah, and then you told me to do something which was, hey, I'm going to go through my MC script, and if I can show no pain during this MC script, then it will happen tomorrow. I'll be there. Yeah. And I just remembered every single 90 seconds you were like, and then like you pause for a bit, and you're just using your brute strengths in terms of hiding it. But it was crazy that we were still rehearsing your speech, thinking that you'll be there the next day at this event to MC. Yeah. And I went to sleep at like 11 o'clock while you were still practicing your speech.
I know. It was like I said, the power of the mind is wild, because I was really in denial that this is happening. And you know, I took a nice warm bath, and then we were ironing our clothes, you know, slowly packing the bags. Yeah. Packing the bags for the event, not for the baby. But I think it was around 2 or 3 a.m. when the water broke that reality kicked in of like going, oh shit, we're actually having this baby. Yep. And it was pretty amazing. Yeah. And
I think I don't know if the panic for you was, oh my God, I can't do like baby's coming, or if I can't do the emceeing tomorrow, at the event. I don't know what was going through your head, but we definitely got in the car saying baby's coming.
Yeah.
Started texting everyone at 3 a.m. saying that we can't be there at the event tomorrow.
Yeah.
Texted our team, texted the CEO of the organisation. But it was good because the CEO was prepared to jump in and make the event work without us because we forewarned them that we were in this position.
Yeah, definitely. And it's obviously a very supportive client and supportive partner that had to pick up the fact that he had to MC the event, and our JT team did such an amazing job, carried through, delivering the project seamlessly as always. But it was definitely a story to remember, I think, going to the hospital, realising that we're having this baby early, and then at the back of your mind still like strangely thinking about business. And obviously for me, we had to go through an emergency C-section because baby was not in the right position and whatnot. But coming out of that emergency C-section, which is a major operation, and again, I think I was in such this fixated mindset that I can't believe this is happening right now, and I've got so much on my plate in terms of business and in terms of, you know, not even just that particular event, but I'm like, oh my God, how about the next 2 events that I was meant to be involved in? Like, what happens next? Hours after Jeslyn arrived, I actually said to you that, can you please bring my laptop in? Because I need to answer emails. And bless your soul, you obliged.
Yep.
And you went in and got the laptop. And so, you know, Jeslyn's like fresh out of my belly. She's like sleeping on the side peacefully. I just had this major operation. I can't move. I'm still high on drugs.
Haven't even rested yet. Haven't slept or anything.
Haven't slept all night. And then I whipped out the laptop to do work. I can laugh about it now, but in the moment it was purely just adrenaline and like this mindset of like, I can't let anyone down. I need to get back into it straight away. And I remember it was full on, not so much in the time, but I think on reflection, it became apparent that was not right.
And it was probably because we weren't planning for baby to arrive early, which I guess we weren't prepared for that was one thing. But it was also, there was a moment in the hospital where the nurse walked in and saw that we were working on our laptops and told us off. It was a pretty we got sworn at and everything. It was like, are you guys doing work? And we're like, yes. And we're like, are you fucking serious? You're doing work when you just popped out a baby like a few hours ago. And that was probably a big reality hit for both of us, where we're like, holy shit, like we actually got life, we just given life here, and we're still taking care of our other baby, which is a business. And not knowing that we didn't actually have the right number one, didn't prepare for it, and also realize that the business needed us so deeply into the connections of everything that we do. Which was a reality hit for us.
And I think it didn't feel wrong at the time.
No,
it just felt like, for me, it was like, let's go, you know, like baby's here. She's very healthy, by the way. She arrived early, but very, very healthy. She was just ready for the world in her own rights. And she's super sassy now, so I can probably see why. But yeah, Jeslyn was there healthily. You know, I couldn't feel pain because I had so much drugs in me. And it just felt like I needed to get on my laptop and continue because we had to. And I think it was the weeks that even followed after that we, although the team respectfully gave us time, I had to also respectively keep getting involved in certain meetings, making certain calls. It was our peak season, had to, you know, do certain things. You had to get on top of our financials, you know, while we were, every time, you know, baby was asleep for an hour, we were back into business. Although I was bed bound, trying to recover and try to do feeds and stuff, but I felt like every time she was asleep, which most people would say every time the baby sleeps, you should sleep because you need to recover. I chose to use that hour to work. And I think it was just this crazy perseverance and like push through and resilience of going, I need to just get things done. And we had to, you know, there were some challenges in the business. We had to resolve it. And there was no real maternity break. But I think it was like in that height, it just felt right to do what we had to do. But I think it was the months that followed, right? I think we went through Christmas and New Year when we actually had a bit of a breather. And I think you and I sat in our retreat going, well, what are we doing this for? Because, you know, our baby's so young. We're like, I think the feeling of burnt out kicked in and I was like, fuck, I'm exhausted. And it just felt like I wasn't doing anything right, both by being a mother, a brand new mum, and also by being a leader in our business because the team was so reliant on me. And I think we then got to the point of going, okay, you know, where do we go from here? And I started feeling like I was falling out of love of JT and the events company. And that was a really strange feeling, you know, especially having grown it for 11 years at the time. You know, growing this passion and this love for events management since I was 14. And then suddenly feeling like I actually don't really like business or like I don't really like what we're doing. It was such a strange feeling. And we came to the conclusion that we need to look for solutions because this was not working out.
And I guess we've never spoken about this publicly as well. And this is the first time that we're actually putting this out there. And there was a lot of feelings, and whether it's from us being really tired and really burnt out by, you know, having the business as well as having Gislin in our life at the time that needed us, you know, our involvement, and the months where we're not sleeping well and we're doing so many different things at the same time. So there was a lot of thought process into what we were deciding on, and we were like, okay, what does it look like for us? And we started exploring what an exit looks like. And we thought the only exit was, hey, let's just sell the business. You know, give us like a break from and taking care of our child, sell the business, see how long it will give us as a runway, and then think about getting a job or doing something different afterwards. That was the thought process, and we actually went out and saw brokers, business brokers, got valuations and did all that to then realise that it was nowhere where we wanted to be. That was the first realisation. It was like, oh shit, we can't actually just go, see you later, sell it and go. And we also spoken to other business owners as well to just get some thought around, you know, where do we stand in terms of our business. And we were thriving at the time. We had a massive team. We had systems and processes in place. We had the contracts. It was going
a lot
really
of mixed feedback, right? There was people who have exited their businesses and sold similar agencies and done well, but they all said, you know, you'll end up finding your way back into events because that's what you love, even though I felt like at the time we were falling out of love with it. But definitely lots of mixed comments and feedback. And I think it was like such a strange period of time of trying to navigate what do we want to do, like what are our options? We were really unclear of that. But that's when we found our next set of mentors, which became
the
a game changer.
So how we came about was we were looking for solutions, and what we realised is maybe we need to, you know, consolidate multiple people. And this event popped up on my Instagram and Facebook, and we were like, oh, this is interesting. And we thought, okay, we'll just go for this one-day free event. I remember we were really interested because we just came out from another conference which had Naomi Simpson involved, which is the owner of Red Balloon. And she spoke really highly on the marketing side of things. So I was like, oh, she's really cool. I want to listen to more of her content. And there was an event that involved her. And we're like, okay, we're going to that, and it's a free event, so why not spend a day in trying to learn? And what we realised was a game changer for us. We actually met our current mentor, and they've been mentoring us for the last 3 years. But one of the things that they said was, there's a lot of different ways of exiting a business. And, there's ways of owning multiple businesses without you having that much involvement in every single one of them. And
really showing us the why, right? In
why.
terms of what we were wanting to achieve in our goals as, I guess, life partners and as new parents, and saying, how can we do this through the business that we have? And how do we navigate it? And how do we look at strategies differently? And I think that was a huge game changer because we weren't exposed to that. I think you and I had never really done much personal development or professional development, in fact, prior to. We had a lot of great mentors along the way that came organically in our lives, but we never actually sought mentorship. And I think that is a huge game changer because we then realize that there's this whole plethora of strategies and thinking and business mindset and personal mindset on how we see life and how we see business that really evolved for us. And I think for us then we decided that, on the same wavelength of accelerating our growth with our family, we felt re-energized in how we could restructure JT and how we can put down the plans and the steps in growing not just one company but multiple businesses, all fulfilling the same purpose and value of what we always loved, which is to build better communities, in everything that we do, in every business decision that we make, every venture, partnership. It's always about, do they have good ethics and do they want whatever they're doing, are they going to build a better community out of it? So our events company had that really solid foundation already. And for us, it was like, okay, now we've been exposed to going, okay, why can't you do more of that in other streams? Why can't you continue to grow out into technology, which we now own our own event technology company? Travel and accommodation, we have our own travel agency, marketing, our marketing firm and so forth. So we suddenly went from, one business feeling completely burnt out to then going, okay, you know what, we're going to hustle hard, but we're going to hustle smarter than what we were doing. This organic growth for the last 10 years got JT to a certain point, but it was like, okay, now we can see a completely different pathway and a much faster pathway of growing and scaling JT to become, I guess, an empire of businesses. And it's incredible because since that moment, which is just shy of 2 years ago, we have, multiplied our businesses now. We're in a different place. And we decided to actually have baby number 2, baby Jordan.
I mean, one of the things that we learned from our mentors also is the life pillar is really important. So when we're talking about business is a large proportion of what we do, but also how do we balance that life? And it's not really balance that we'll ever get in owning business and life together. It's more like how do we blend it all in together is a term. So when we had, during this mentorship is, you'll get all the strategies for business, but what we also got out of it was actually how to be better people ourselves in terms of how do we show up for our family, how do we show up for the people that we love, our friends and family around us.
How do we show up for our team?
For our team, the people who supports us. So what happened there was we actually decided that having one child was not enough, and we wanted a brother or sister for Jeslyn,
yes,
and planned for a baby number 2 during that time.
This time it was properly planned.
And we had a process in place. We were very clear in the pathway that we were going to take, and fortunately for us, it didn't take long to conceive, but it really pushed us to move things even faster with baby number 2 into getting that structure correct, and all of the businesses that we also have in the right space to provide us with that time that we needed as well.
And that was the goal. That was the big goal for us last year. We pretty much said, and I said, if I'm having a baby number 2, I will not bring my laptop to the hospital, and I will have maternity break regardless. And I think whilst we were growing and multiplying our businesses last year, the big evident for us was that we needed to remove ourselves from our main events management company and take that exit. And what that meant for us in terms of laying the foundation for that was restructuring our leadership team. So appointing our general manager, who's fantastic, and then actually appointing a CEO in place who would completely have full oversight of the business financials, the ins and outs, the relationships, and essentially run that particular company for us. And that took us a long time. It took us a good solid, 6, 7, 8 months to plan and put in the right steps for it. But we had the right guidance and we had the clarity that we needed in terms of this is the way that we needed to go. And we wanted to make sure that in this process that we were able to bring our team a part of that journey. It was so important for me that it wasn't like, this is what we're going to do, see you later, work it out. It was very much like, okay, this is why we have to do what we need to do and this is the steps that we're putting in place. And the greater goal is to build this successful group of businesses that everyone can benefit from.
Yep.
And this is the timeline we're working towards. And it did. It actually worked out really well for us. We appointed incredible leaders into the business. We learned a lot through that process. And then I think the realization for both of us in particular is that as we stepped out of JT is that we were the roadblocks a lot of the times, for the growth of where that business could go. And so having stepped out now, it's given us so much clarity and capacity to do more. We have obviously have multiple other ventures that we're focusing on. You're doing a lot of consulting and mentorship yourself to help other people scale their businesses. And we're really finding the love and the passion for it again. And yes, we had baby number 2 and I got a beautiful 3 weeks beforehand where I did nothing. I actually went on maternity leave, got to hang out with family, played with Jeslyn and did all the motherly things, went and had a baby, which was a beautiful birthing experience, and then had a great break afterwards. Still chose to come back to the businesses pretty earlier on, but that was definitely by choice and the mindset have shifted drastically from where I was 2 years ago.
Yep. And I think like where we found ourselves was because we were doing so many different things as well, like paying attention to, it was hard for us to provide the time to each team member and not being necessarily being there all the time, which we found that hiring the executive team that we have now was such an important point in our business because now everyone gets the attention that they deserve in our team. Everyone's working really good together, and when they see us around, definitely it's a good time together and they really respect us still as business owners.
Yeah, we absolutely still love the events team, and across all of the businesses, like absolute love for them.
Yep.
But I think it's definitely was the strategic move to have someone skilled to step in and really like take that business to the next level for us, for sure.
Yep.
But I think, all of this journey that we had in just under 3 years has been a roller coaster of a ride. And the reason why I think we felt really compelled in sharing all of this is, a lot of the times I feel like people think, whether it is in a career pathway, you might have a job, or us owning businesses, is like once you start having a family that things shift and things have to be slowed down or paused. And I think we want to share our journey in particular today is because it's really, I guess, lifting that curtain of saying, hey, you can do more and go faster and harder with the right structure and steps in place, just as we have with 2 young families. And we definitely have to acknowledge the fact that our immediate circle of family, being, my sister, our parents, my brother-in-law and so forth, are definitely the village that it takes to help us raise our kids and support us. To be able to do what we do, I'm obviously back full time in our businesses and so are you, and often our kids do spend a lot of time with our parents.
Yeah. And I guess it's also, it's important to actually share the vision that we're actually trying to get to, not only for a team, but it's also for our families as well. It's like we've got so much or we're doing so much. The reason why is because we do want to make that impact in the community and want to make sure that the team's looked after. We want to make sure that our families are looked after as well, and provide the best opportunities for everyone that helps support us. So, when everyone has the deep understanding of what our obligation is and making sure that they are supporting us is for reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now, Vic, now that we're on, I wouldn't say the other side because it's always an evolving a version of us growing and being parents, and we're still learning every day. I feel like I'm learning something new from the kids. But what are some of the key, I guess, takeaways we could give everyone here in terms of juggling life together as husband and wife, running businesses, and definitely doing all of that with having a young family?
So I think really important is how do we manage relationships, and it's relationships between us. For us, what I found really important is that we have very clear goals, and there's business goals and there's family goals. For business goals, it's always what's best for the business. Because when we're making decisions, and it's not always peace either, we do have our different thought processes in certain decisions that we need to make, but we always have to go back to what is best for the business. And when that is really clear and those decisions are made upon data and everything that comes from our experience to make these decisions, it doesn't affect our personal life.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, it's the same thing for family, is what's best for the family, what's best for the kids, what's best for the relationship of us, and making those decisions upon that, and making sure that we are not necessarily attacking each other. We're listening, we're talking through things and allowing us to deep dive into each other's thought processes, and then deciding, okay, what's wrong, what's right, and making sure that we move on from those decisions as well. So that's a very important key factor to how we manage everything.
Yeah, definitely. I think to just add to that, for me, it's about having a very clear why. Like, why are we working so hard? Why are we wanting to build multiple businesses? Have a family, live in the area we live, have a certain lifestyle. And then once we lock in on the why, it makes the decision process and goal reachable. I think it's so important, because often you get sort of like carried away with the day-to-day life and the things that you have to do, there's the washing or the cooking or the baby feeding to, making business decisions and things like that, which can be very overwhelming at the best of times. And I think when you are feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, it's important to remember the why. Why am I here? Why am I doing what I do? In order to make that a anchoring point for you to keep going forward and keep trying and keep, elevating yourself. So I think that's always been very important for us, and even more so in the last, 2 to 3 years, we've been very clear about our why and where we want to go. And so even when it feels like absolute shit because something is happening in our life that's not what we planned, it is really easy for us to then bring ourselves back on track because we're very clear on our why and what we want to get out of it.
And then the other things that is really important as well is to have fun along the way. I think a lot of people think owning a business or doing so much you don't have fun, but I think that's probably where a lot of the burnout comes from as well. If that you're not having fun and enjoying what you're doing, is that it does become burnout. But if your fun is included in your everyday life, like whether you're traveling or whether you're doing something that will recharge your batteries, like exercise or doing what you love,
shopping
or I like go-karting and driving, so it's like that will recharge my battery. But if we're not doing these fun activities with family and friends and team members, it will become tedious. And to try to have that fun element is so important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think for me personally, it took a long time to realize that. And I think growing up the way that we did, I've always thought you have to work and you always have to hustle, and that fun can be saved for later. But I think the last 3 years it's been realizing that actually fun should be spread out along the way, especially now that we have little kids. You know, they're you know, sitting down painting something random with Jeslyn is fun to her, and it's so enjoyable to watch. So it doesn't have to be like glamorous and big. It can be just small moments in your day, small moments in your week that you just allow yourself to actually have fun, and more importantly celebrate the wins as well. You know, there's a lot of wins. It doesn't have to be a big milestone in business or in life. It can certainly be small wins. You know, if we got home on time to pick up our kids, or we had a really great meeting out of a client, you know, all of those are wins on a day-to-day basis. And I think as humans, when we are validating ourselves and validating those milestones and moments and giving yourself rewards for it, it actually naturally motivates you to do more. But if you are kind of constantly, you know, grinding your gears and trying to get to the next thing and not giving yourself that space to win and feel like you've achieved something, then you will feel burnt out. And, you know, we've certainly learnt that the hard way as well.
Yep.
I think the last thing that we should share, and I think it's an important one, definitely, as we touched on a lot throughout this episode, is the fact that continuous learning is so important. That we didn't spend a lot of time, I guess, seeking mentorship or coaching and guidance in our earlier days of our business journey. And in many ways, I kind of regret that in a way, because I can only see how much we would have traveled so much faster and grown and scaled our business so much quicker if we just looked for help. Yeah,
I think obtaining knowledge is really important, and you need to consistently do that. And it doesn't matter where you are in life. You know, getting that mentorship and getting someone to coach you through a lot of the things that you may be going through is really important. You know, being a coach myself and telling people these are some of the speed humps that you will be will be coming up for you. Watch out. This is what you will do to handle it. And being someone that's walked through paths or driven this road is that you can identify a lot of these issues that will come up for businesses, and giving them warning, but also giving them solutions, like practical step-by-step. How do we solve this? How do we solve this? And it will make the path so much easier to walk together. And the other thing is, coaches have coaches. Like, we're getting mentored, and our mentors are getting mentored, and it goes up the ranks, because you can just never
stop learning.
Never stop it. You can never stop learning. So a really important factor is to keep getting that knowledge and share that knowledge at the same time as well.
Yeah. And I think the final thing I would say to the journey of business and babies is that it's never perfect. It will be messy, like our house is absolutely messy all the time. And just be okay with it and be kind to yourself. I think it's a journey that everyone, you know, if you have the opportunity to start your family and, you know, run businesses together, is, you know, don't think about how the fact that you have to do this. It's like the fact that you get to do it. It's a very exciting journey, and I'm so glad, you know, Jeslyn came into our life, and of course now Jordan as well, and that we get to do this together and continue to navigate, continue to learn and grow, and scale our businesses, which is all part of the fun.
Yep.
Yay.
Cool. So thank you for listening to our episode. I hope you enjoyed that, and we really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to our channel if you want to hear more from us. It will mean the world to us, so thank you, and we'll see you next week.